Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Viewpoint. I'm Jim Hadley. This morning, we're talking about the Theater Lab and how they're transforming lives in our community. Our guest this morning, we have with us Kike Avalos. He is with the Life Stories program. He's an instructor there. We also have with us Buzz Morrow, Theater Lab founder and co-director, and Deb Gottesman, Theater Lab founder and co-director. Welcome to all of you.
Thank you.
We know you've got a big benefit gala coming up tomorrow, Monday night. We want to talk a little bit more about that later, and we're going to be putting the web address up too. But first of all, this is the largest theater group or instruction program in Washington. Who do you serve and about how many people?
Well, we serve people from all walks of life. We have an enrollment of a little over 1,400 students a year. And in the broadest sense, the Theater Lab is committed to transforming lives through theater. So our mission is to provide both the artistic but also the real-life benefits of quality theater education to people from all over the metropolitan area.
Now, you're not just teaching actors. They're learning writing skills, directorial skills. What else can they learn?
Well, we started off as primarily dealing with actors. Deb and I graduated from Catholic with degrees in acting and started the Theater Lab in 1992. And so we thought, well, we're going to go out and teach some acting. But then we realized we had a bunch of great colleagues in the theater community in Washington, which is a great theater community. And so we started asking them if they wanted to teach the people who we thought had the great teaching spirits as well as being great performers themselves. And so yes, we have directing classes and playwriting classes. And it wasn't long before we realized that all this acting and theater stuff had applications beyond just being on the stage or on screen. And that's how we got started with things like life stories that bring the benefits of it out into the greater community, even people who aren't planning to do anything in the theater.
Let's talk about this Life Stories program. Kike, you're an instructor. You work with young people every day. What does it take to be a good instructor, particularly working with youth?
Well, I think primarily is you know, being willing to listen to their voices. I mean, theater it's about the human condition. So, you know, the populations that we work with usually come from very disadvantaged realities, you know. So I think that one has to be prepared to accept that as a base for the work that we do. But I think that there's also the misconception out there that the people that come from underserved or, you know, disadvantaged populations don't have much to say. And I think I found through the process that is the complete opposite.
That they do have significant and compelling stories to tell. And in this Life Stories program, that's what you're doing. You're pulling that out of them, I guess.
Exactly. So Life Stories is really our free program that we offer to train people from typically marginalized populations, people who aren't used to having much of a voice in society, to create original dramatic works based on their real-life experiences and to share those works with the larger community.
How is it, Buzz, transformative? We use that word off the top. You've seen perhaps a before and after with some of these young people, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And for a long time, we resisted anything as grandiose sounding, saying that it transforms lives. But, you know, 18 years later, with the work of people like Kike, we see some amazing things happen. I mean, one thing that happened in the Life Stories program, somebody did some role play about his mother. Somebody who was in prison started role-playing about his mother and felt compelled to try to get back in touch with her, where he had been estranged from her for a long time. And they got back in touch. That's pretty transformative.
That was a breakthrough.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
That person.
It's the kind of thing that, you know, once you start to deal with these issues in a way that makes you embody them, you know, you have to be there acting it out. It brings up new perspectives on things, I think, for people quite a lot. But even, you know, our adult students, we have a lawyer who comes in and says, you know, I need to get more comfortable in front of people. So I thought I'll take some acting classes. We've had people say, I just find myself making more eye contact in the office. I'm just more comfortable with other people.
And do you see that, Kike, that really builds their self-confidence, particularly with young people?
Oh yeah, and I think that, I mean, you know, the Life Stories program has two sides to it. You know, one, I would say, is the work that happens in the moment, but it's a video project. So we actually video the sessions, you know, video part of the rehearsals, and then we video the actual performances. And the collaboration that we have with Gala Hispanic Theater, for example, the kids have the opportunity to present their work in front of a live audience. so their families are able to come and witness, you know, the final result. And then with the video process, you know, the kids are able, in the end, to watch themselves, you know, to watch how they went from point A, let's say, to point Z, you know, because it is a gradual process of, okay, what is it that I want to say? What's my character going to be about? You know, how many scenes am I going to do? Is it going to be a monologue? You know, is it going to be a poem? Is it going to be a rap? So, you know, we were talking about a process that where they were able to watch it from beginning to end. And in the end, they have an end product, which is either the live performance or a DVD.
What they've produced and what they've accomplished, and that whole sense of accomplishment has to do a lot. We want to pick it up there. We've got to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And as we go to break, we want to show you the website for the Theater Lab if you'd like to find out more or get involved or donate. There it is, thetheaterlab.org. We'll be right back on Viewpoint. Stay with us. And welcome back to Viewpoint this morning. This Sunday, we are talking about Washington's Theater Lab and a program that they've had for about 10 years now called Life Stories. We were talking a little bit, Deb, about serving young people, but it's not just young people. Who else does it serve? Right.
The Life Stories program does serve incarcerated youth at New Beginnings, and that's the program that Kike was talking about that he teaches with Tom Workman, and we have a couple of other sites like Gala Hispanic Theater. But we also, the program actually started as a drama program for seniors in assisted living facilities. And we also have a program for homeless women living at the N Street Village shelter.
Sure, I know that well. They've been on our program quite a bit.
They're amazing.
And I think that one of the things, that's a transformative program in and of itself.
Yes, it is.
And it's all about building self-esteem for many of those women, and I can't think of a better outlet than this.
Well, you know, one of the things that's been most exciting about watching the Life Stories work and the way that it's been taught is seeing people realize that they can change the ending of their stories. You know, you're not just a victim of circumstance. You have the ability to look back, you know, use art as a lens through which to look at your past experiences and think about where you want to go in the future. So watching that creative process, which is really the same process that all of us do as actors and theater, you know, theater artists, is really thrilling when we take it out into the community.
And Kike, speak a little bit, if you would, about those students who you teach who are incarcerated. You go to them, and what's it like to work with them, and how open are they to trying new things?
Well, I mean, of course, there's really, you know, there's this whole. I mean, acting is such a liberating thing, and perhaps, you know, that's a contradictory word to use when you're talking about kids that are locked up. You know, there's just this tremendous amount of energy that comes out of people that find themselves in this situation where you know, everything is controlled by the authorities. You know, so theater, art, you know, self-expression is always very much welcome. I mean, the amount of energy that comes out of the young people that we work with, I mean, it's just, you know, it's just very explosive in a sense. And I do a lot of work also over at Potomac Job Corps, you know, and that is a place where you find young kids and young adults that perhaps have been in trouble, you know, that have made some mistakes along their lives, and they're trying to correct that by learning a trade, by getting their GED. But the amount of stories that come out of them, you know, I mean, it's really amazing. You know, the kinds of things that they can come up with, but also a lot of the stuff that they usually put on the table are based on their own experiences, you know, and some of these experiences are very painful, you know, and a lot of times I think we spend a lot of time pointing the finger at young people because they're a cause of a lot of the crime and all, you know, the violence that is taking place in the city. But I think we owe it to them, you know, to listen to their stories and what is it that is happening in their lives that is making them make these wrong choices, you know. So and I think that through theater, they're able to reflect, you know, they're able to think back, but also they're able to look at where they are at that moment, you know, and it's tremendous. It's really exciting to see the change that some people go through.
I would add to that it's everything that Kike says is so true about this explosive energy that's there, but it takes, if I may, it takes somebody like Kike to channel that energy in an artistic way. And that's what, when I think about the Life Stories Project, that's what I think of as what is most amazing about it, really, that it's not simply tell your story.
Right.
Because everybody tells their stories in various ways throughout their lives, but it's about tell your story in a more structured way that's going to allow you to put meaning into it and take the meaning back out of it. And so, you know, Kike is himself a very accomplished and well-known performer, and he takes all that skill and brings that to them, and so they see that they themselves can do something artistic with their life. It's not just about telling the story, it's about telling the story in a theatrical way.
And they learn about themselves in the process,
exactly.
too,
yeah.
which I find fascinating. Beyond kids and people who may not have the opportunity or the chance or the means to be exposed to arts, your overall comprehensive program allows anybody to come in and take part. Grown-ups, you've got lawyers, you've got everybody.
We also have a scholarship program, so a lot of the students that actually go through our program, if they want to continue their training, they qualify for free classes, and then they can come and take the classes over at the site, you know, on 8th Street.
Yeah, and actually, this year we gave out more than $60,000 in scholarships so that young people could take part in our acting camps and our musical theater institutes. So yeah, we want people to take advantage of those things, and we're very appreciative of the community that's behind these programs, making them happen.
All right. If you'd like to get behind it, we're going to put that website on our screen one more time as we go to break. Their web address, if you'd like to donate or find out more or just get involved, there it is, theaterlab.org. We'll be right back on Viewpoint.